Hi and welcome to How to Use CAD. I'm Tom Norris, and in today's CAD tutorial we are going to look at steps you can take to add real value to your drawings. In effect, how to give them the X factor. So stay with me and let's see where we get to. Right, here we are. Now this is a drawing, it's a layout drawing of the flat in Kensington. In fact, this flat was it's a basement flat and is worth about £1.4 million, and it's absolutely tiny. So the brief we got here was was it possible to change a one-bedroom flat into a two-bedroom? Now, as you can see, these are existing layout plans, and they're quite dull, they're quite boring, but they're they're to scale and they're accurate. They look reasonably presentable. If we zoom in a bit, you can see we've used some CAD block items to help viewers to see which rooms were, bathrooms, kitchen, and so on. Tiny kitchen, but nevertheless fine for a one-bedroom flat. Built-in wardrobes for the bedroom. But what we found was the dining room here in the hallway, entrance hallway. This was huge, so we looked at that to see if we could how we could use it. But today isn't about changing layouts so much. Today is about basically doing drawings and doing standard drawings, but how with a little bit of extra effort and time we can turn the drawings into a better visual experience for our clients. So as I say, on this one is the existing layout, and partly my strategy when doing existing layouts is to keep them basically straightforward, almost utility, in the sense that I don't add too many features, I don't go out of my way. And the reason I do that is that when I then do a proposal, the proposal will look enhanced or substantially better. And I can go back now. This particular project was about 8-9 years ago as I say, in Kensington. So you have your existing layout there, and this is what I offered up to the client on the first go. So let me see if I can square it off here. Right, so exactly, again, if we just look at the two, this drawing on the right, which is the proposal, looks, in my view, considerably better. It's certainly more detailed. And what's also important to understand is that whilst that was a one-bedroom on my left here, this is in fact a two-bedroom flat. And I can tell you that the difference, and this is just gossip now, the difference, I believe the one-bedroom flat in the basement was about 1.1 million pounds or sterling when we got the flat. That's what the client paid. And by the time we were finished, the client had spent just as little as about £100,000, and he then had a flat for 1.4 million because it went from a one-bedroom flat to a two-bedroom flat. So adding the extra room, even though we didn't increase the footprint or add extra space, the value went up by about 300,000. So all I can say, it was a good payday for my client because we managed to do it. Right, let's have a look at because as I say, that's not the essence of this tutorial. The essence of the tutorial is to how we promote, or how we push, and how we create our drawings to add a little bit more oomph to the drawing. So as you can see now on the existing here, I used what I would consider to be, well, they were pretty realistic, but they were still a little old-fashioned. The CAD blocks, like the sink and etc., a little old-fashioned, 1.5 bowls. This one here was an electric hob. Tub is pretty standard. So any of those little CAD block elements that I added to the drawing, I always use very basic ones. Whereas here now I'm using a more modern close-coupled WC. I'm using a little bit more flair on the, you're aiming for a his and hers, you realize you can't get it, so this is a marble top now, a marble top, a little cupboard underneath. This here was actually boiler storage, and again in the bathroom I've given a much neater sink instead of a standard old ceramic bowl set into laminate. This one was a cut bit of, I think it was quartz or granite, I can't quite recall. But those things, so review your CAD blocks, and as I said to you, try to replicate what's there, but when you're making a proposal, we tend to use smart, more modern CAD blocks, which sometimes we have to pay for just to be able to promote. Now, just to be able to illustrate or give the client a better view of what the potential is for the property. So here now we've furnished out the rooms, and the reason we furnished out the rooms is to allow the client to see what the space, how the space will work. Because if you just give boxes, if we just give space, then it's a problem, because most of the clients we have, and I think it'll be the same for you, will be that the clients can't visualize. Will the double bed fit there? Will it be? Are we going to be able to have a little table? What do we do for wardrobes and so on? So you can see now on this particular setup, it was designed. If you look here, this entrance here, this was designed to have a master bedroom with built-in wardrobes and an ensuite. So certainly as against a bedroom on its own. So in fact, whilst the bedroom wasn't huge, it had it went up a few notches because it became an ensuite with built-in wardrobes and enough space. A lovely window out here. I remember that very tall window. These were very tall rooms. So it became quite luxurious when it was furnished out. And then as you come out back into the hallway, this is the communal bathroom. Functional, but again, it was very, very smart. It was nicely tiled out with modern tiles. But again, we doubled up on the wardrobes to create utility space for the actual flat or the apartment, because it had little and no space whatsoever. Now we come up here to the, I suppose this is the newly formed bedroom. And again, it's not as big as the master bedroom, but it's certainly a double bedroom. And yet again, we managed to get in the wardrobe space. So it's a very functional double bedroom. Outside here, bit of furniture illustrating a table lamp, bit of furniture, nice entrance into the hallway. So the hallway didn't suffer that much. As you can see, it was designed, we could have pulled it forward here, we could have put the wall here, more wardrobes, more space for the bedroom, but also at additional cost because this is a structural wall. So we went for structural here, we had no option. We took that out at good expense, plus, as I say, a few structural bits of steel had to go in. Here we minimized the cost by leaving it there. Didn't feel that by pulling it out and gaining a metre to the bedroom and less for the hallway that it was going to do anything for the bedroom. Where the bedroom lacked was in the width rather than the depth, so it was left. Right, back into the lobby here. We're going into the lounge. Lounge, the basic shape remains the same. It was just here now, where, if you recall by the old drawing, the kitchen was here, where we put in the. See, the kitchen was there, and now it's an ensuite. It became an ensuite. So we gave this area, the lounge and so on, we gave it the modern flavour, which is, these are huge rooms, by the way, and this became a modern kitchen. A little bit of storage here in the larder. I was happy enough in the beginning to carry the kitchen on the whole way and do a dummy door here, but no, client didn't want. Client was happy with the way we ended up. So we got an island here in the middle with stools and seats all the way around, so you don't need a dining table. So you can sit 6 people here to eat, plenty of space to cook, food storage, and you got. Don't forget, this is a 2-bedroom apartment in Kensington, and it's semi-basement, and these places, and it's not like a family home where you live. People use the apartment lightly, put it that way. They might be here for 5 days a week or 2 days a week. They might be here periodically, but they don't get lived in much the same as houses, say, in the suburbs. But in any case, this became very functional. Big TV here. We ended up, and I've seen this project go the whole way because the furniture got delivered and I gave the sizes for the furniture, etc., what could and what couldn't. Client had all this stuff delivered right towards the end, and I did actually see what it looked like in the couches and so on. It looked absolutely fantastic. Now what's interesting here is this drawing is more detailed because we brought in some radiators for the heating, we brought in the furniture, I've added low voltage lights, the positioning. Now normally I wouldn't do that, because if you have too much detail it kind of throws the client, and we end up creating drawers with layers that we can switch on electrical, so that we can show electrical, or we can switch on the furniture. But this one I decided to give everything to the client as you see it here, and they were instantly it was a go from the word go. They got exactly what they wanted, which was a 1-bedroom flat into a 2-bedroom flat. But to illustrate some of the features and some of the points, what we did here was we did numbering with a little description, and we kept it all in black and white, kept it all pretty sedate. So, you know, like where it says 4, for example, that was to close up a fireplace, remove the surround, because by keeping the surround in the center, it was halfway into the kitchen and halfway into the lounge area, so that had to go. Number 9, where's number 9? Number 9 is new stud work. This is build new stud work. So we used a numbering system and a description outside of the drawing rather than within the drawing. And as I said, this was a gorgeous drawing, but very simple. We didn't do any fill in the walls, we didn't do any color, we didn't do any shrubs or plants or anything like that. But it worked very well. Everyone was happy with this. Client absolutely over the moon. Client made a killing, 300,000 or 400,000 within a few months, and he is one of our regular clients because of they like what we do. So now let me give you a look at another drawing. I'm kind of going to work my way up here. Now this is another project. You can see the existing here, and you can see what the proposal is. And this one was for, this is actually a flat. It was a ground floor flat in Streatham, Southwest 16, London Southwest 16. And you can see the client interested extending on the flat. And again, these are quite big flats. They're big Victorian houses that were converted. So on this one, we were looking to basically go extend out in a what we call a wraparound extension, and that's what we did. Now again, we kept it all black and white. We added in furniture again to let the client see how the rooms would work with regard to furniture. We didn't go over the top. We didn't do too much detail. Here you have a kitchen, but it's not showing the hob or the extractor or the fridge. It's just showing an allocated space. Here we have a boiler, another bit of worktop, illustrating space for dining, a couple of couches, wide bifold doors to the garden, bit of patio, and again we illustrated the patio with very simple lines, and we dulled them down to grey, which is always a good thing because they're secondary. You know, if you start adding bits and pieces to the garden, what you don't want to do is make them all the same. So we made it secondary by doing it grey, and I thought it looked very well. Again now, absolute basic utility drawing. Here now, instead of using the numbering system, we used again descriptions and little lines showing French doors closed up, new window to bedroom. Yeah, we took the doors out there. We added a new UPVC window. This used to be the old kitchen. It became a bedroom. Again, this particular client ended up going from, what was it, a 1-bedroom flat. Yes, let's have a look. Here, in the existing layout, we have the bedroom, lounge, bathroom, kitchen. Yeah, 1-bedroom flat. And here you have bedroom, so the kitchen becomes a bedroom, and the additional space here creates the lounge, family living area. So again, the client made a substantial bit of equity for his property here by adding a second bedroom. So again, it's the detail. It's all about the detail that we put in. We put in what we considered to be enough detail here to communicate the design, but we didn't go nuts with it. So it's all about communicating the design, and by not going over the top. But at the same time, it's about taking the time and effort to be able to communicate it, and make the whole thing transparent for the client. And bear in mind that they're not architects or designers, so they won't be able to see in the same way as you or I might. So we have to make the effort. Right, let's step it up a bit and we go to another project. Okay, so on this one, it's a little bit more modern now. This is a few years old. And I'm trying to remember the project here. Let's see. Yes, this was in fact, this was in fact a two-story side extension and a rear extension at the back. So this bit is all added on, and this bit here at the back. So let's have a look. So again here now, it's not so much about the layout and what we did, but it's about the elements we placed into the drawing to add value and to communicate the design. So I feel on this one I probably got it wrong on the fill here. The fill, it's a bit small. I should have made it bigger, because the end result is that when you look from a little bit further away, it just becomes a solid color, whereas I would have preferred this particular look. Yeah, that's what it was all about. So again, you can see we've added a numbering system and text on the side rather than clogging up the drawing. In the inside, we've added the furniture again to illustrate the space and how it best can be used. We've added a pretty decent patio, again offering up lifestyle. A few flowers, a few plants, a few trees. We got a human in this one. So again, it's a little bit of Barbie here. We're showing the bin, so we're adding a bit of reality to the drawings. But this one works really well. I like this. I like the concealed walk-in larder on this one, built in as when you look at larder units, the tall larder units, fridge housings and so on. Pretty easy. It's pretty easy to actually build one in that isn't actually a cupboard, but a walk-in larder. So maybe a utility room or a larder. It's perfectly feasible to do them and have them concealed, but you have to fool around with that. But it's become popular, and there are opportunities in lots of projects we do where we can pop them in, but only if it makes sense and only if we think the client will enjoy a quirky little walk-in larder, basically like a hidden room. Here again, we've added the island, sink in the island, overhanging pendant lights, 2 or 3 stools. Getting the width of the island is always important. Too wide and too narrow. So just getting it right. Always keeping in mind that we need a decent bit of space. We generally leave 1100mm between the worktop and the island. Yes, let's have a look. Here in the existing layout, we have bedroom, lounge, bathroom, kitchen. Yeah, 1 bedroom flat. And here you have bedroom, so the kitchen becomes a bedroom, and the additional space here creates the lounge, family living area. So again, the client made a substantial bit of equity for his property here by adding a 2nd bedroom. So again, it's the detail. It's all about the detail that we put in. We put in what we consider to be enough detail here to communicate the design, but we didn't go nuts with it. So it's all about communicating the design, and by not going over the top. But at the same time, it's about taking the time and effort to be able to communicate it, and make the whole thing transparent for the client. And bear in mind that they're not architects or designers, so they won't be able to see in the same way as you or I might. So we have to make the effort. Right, let's step it up a bit and we go to another project. Okay, so on this one, it's a little bit more modern now. This is a few years old. And I'm trying to remember the project here. Let's see. Yes, this was in fact, this was in fact a 2-story side extension and a a rear extension at the back. So this bit is all added on, and this bit here at the back. So let's have a look. So again here now, it's not so much about the layout and what we did, but it's about the elements we placed into the drawing to add value and to communicate the design. So I feel on this one I probably got it wrong on the fill here. The fill, it's a bit small. I should have made it bigger, because the end result is that when you look from a little bit further away, it just becomes a solid color, whereas I would have preferred this particular look. Yeah, that's what it was all about. So again, you can see we've added a numbering system and text on the side rather than clogging up the drawing. In the inside, we've added the furniture again to illustrate the space and how it best can be used. We've added a pretty decent patio, again offering up lifestyle. Few flowers, a few plants, a few trees. We got a human in this one. So again, it's a little bit of Barbie here. We're showing the bin, so we're adding a bit of reality to the drawings. But this one works really well. I like this. I like the concealed walk-in larder on this one, built in as you know, when you look at larder units, the tall larder units, fridge housings and so on. It's pretty easy. It's pretty easy to actually build one in that isn't actually a cupboard, but a walk-in larder. So maybe a utility room or a larder. It's perfectly feasible to do them and have them concealed, but you have to fool around with that. But it's become popular, and there are opportunities in lots of projects we do where we can pop them in, but only if it makes sense and only if we think the client will enjoy a quirky little walk-in larder, basically like a hidden room. Here again, we've added the island, sink in the island, overhanging pendant lights, 2 or 3 stools. Getting the width of the island is always important. You know, too wide and too narrow. So just getting it right. Always keeping in mind that we need a decent bit of space. We generally leave 1100 mil between the worktop and the island. So using a fill of any kind will always help to break up the rooms, especially when you darken it down a bit. So as I say, this one I wasn't entirely happy with the fill, but the grey effect looks quite nice. But and the mere fact that I did it, it helps to compartmentalize. You can see at a glance, for example, how the layout is. Little touches popped into the plans. So for here, I did a curve on that corner. It's all about flow, creating that flow. So every now and then you can get a curve in. The builders hate it, but it does add a nice feel. It gives that customization feel. So on here, what did we do? We did sliding doors here, bifold there, French there. So as you can see, I mix it up. And client was over the moon with this drawing, and this house was actually this project was actually done with great result. I haven't actually been back, but I'm looking forward to doing it. I'm looking forward to getting back and having a look. The other thing here was the client wanted a utility area, so a lot of the clients did. So they had what they got a WC on the ground floor, which everybody wants. Utility on the ground floor, which all the ladies want apparently. Larder unit, well, that's just that's a lottery window. I mean, that's fantastic if you can get a larder unit in as well. Door in its position here, going to the side, going to the bins. So in other words, you're in the kitchen, you're going to the bins, really great. You come back and you park in the front drive, you come this way into the kitchen, you can come in the front entrance. But either way, everything works pretty smooth from the point of view of the elderly relative, be access to the flat, or access to the garden, access to the house. Everything works really well. It was a good success, but just watch the elements that you place in. You don't have to do too much, but on the other hand, you want to do enough to communicate that design. And we like to use the numbering system, numbering system, and some external text rather than clutter the drawing up with loads of lines, etc. The little bit of patio, as in expressing where the garden might start and the patio area, that's also works very, very well. Right, you getting the idea here? Okay, so let's move to one more drawing. Oops, daisy. For this one, we've gone each step, we're gradually moving forward. So on this one, this was a bungalow overlooking the sea, and it was really badly designed because the sea is this way at the front. This is the front of the bungalow, and it was done really, really badly. And by that I mean they had a big internal porch here which gave them a little view. This is a bedroom, so the day view to the sea, they didn't have this. They because we added on all of this on the side. They had a little narrow bit here and a little room there, but no decent visual to the sea except this bedroom. And of course they're in this bedroom at night time and maybe for a half an hour in the morning, but beyond that, the rest of the house you wouldn't even know you were in the sea or even anywhere near it. So we changed all that. So what we did was this is a bungalow. So what we did, we raised it, and to emphasize what we did was we threw a few photos in. So this one now you can see you've got steps to a raised area, raised platform at the back. Well, this is where the steps are. You can see the steps going up. We didn't do the full width, we did a balustrade here. Doors to the garden, and again this is all fixed glazed units, floor to ceiling, so you really do have the garden. Patio is huge now. You've got a seating area here. Again, I can see we've got a human or two in there. Steps back down again. This is a patio on a lower level. Nice divider using plants, etc. Very simple, rendered box effectively. Plants in the middle, some free-flowing steps. This is all the external patio area. And on the side, which was open, we put an overhead, simple overhead canopy so that it could use for storage. Bikes, all sorts of bits and pieces could go in there, and of course a door or a gate at the front to make it a bit secure. But what we did here was that we've got a clerestory window. Because this room is built on a higher level, we put in a clerestory window, which effectively means we can see out from this room through this window all the way to the sea. And when you come down the stairs, again you're in the kitchen now with a big wide window, again all the way to the sea. Unobstructed views. When you're in the lounge, because we took out the internal porch, we have a big wide window all the way to the sea. So here we are. And now, I mean, not only have we improved the house like 5 million times more by the way it's laid out, you can see that we've added in, like I remember as part of the brief the client said, well, they like the outdoor living, so we introduced the outdoor living into the drawing, and that went down really well. Adding the basically you can have here an outdoor kitchen into any way you want. So all we're doing is communicating the design. Client then expressed a view for the critle style windows. So fine, we introduced a critle. We're giving them an idea here what this might look like. Viewfinder, big picture windows. Again, these are great. They didn't know what clerestory windows were, so these windows here, we're able to show them. We're able to communicate these are what clerestory windows look like up high on the wall. This is a little bit lower on the wall. Again, beautiful the way they're done, and they're really useful. And again here, this bit, this was for here, to give them an idea. Bifold doors. Again, raised patio. Down here, lower patio. Beautiful family home. This is what it's become. Work hasn't been done yet. We're still fine-tuning with the client, so it's a recent project. But they are extremely keen on the layouts and so on. But again, we kept it very simple with the with the CAD blocks. Didn't go over the top at all. Used minimum effect because the big picture here was layout. That's what the client was interested in getting layout, and of course the property, getting views of the sea from the interior of the property. So again, we like the grey effect. Here we've started to use blue on to emphasize glass or glazed area. And again, that's quite useful, and that adds a little color to the drawings. Wherever we have steps, we've got the little red triangle. Again, that's, you know, it's up to you. You can do a pink triangle, do whatever you want. But at the end of the day, you're emphasizing something or other, or you're communicating something or other. Add a little touch color, flowers, lawn area, few trees, and as you can see, we're using the lines with some editorial or annotations to describe some of the finer bits or the oddities within the property, just to communicate more of the design. But having the pictures in, having the annotated bits with the lines, I think that's a really great drawing, and that really does work. Then this is basically a draft. This is one of the layouts that we did. We've done a few layouts for this particular property before we ended up where we think this is the final draft. So okay, so basically this, we're coming to the end of this tutorial now, but what I really wanted to say was we haven't done anything way over the top. We don't get paid millions of pounds to do these drawings. These are pretty standard drawings, but even though they're pretty basic and they're pretty standard, what I'm saying is that you can communicate the design by adding extra elements all the time, and you can keep adding, and that's fine if you're getting £3,000 or £4,000 to do one drawing. But if you're not, there's a stop point. But you really should be able to add on a few bits and learn how to pad out your drawings and how to use CAD blocks, use numbering systems, or using editorial lines just to communicate the design. I like this one because the photos are a big help. So occasionally we use photos where the projects are a little bit more out of the ordinary and so on. And you can see the existing layout here. This was an old garage on the side. So we ended up building out on all that and extending this back so we could have proper views of the sea, which is out here. Yeah, so it was a great success. But again, let me emphasize, use your CAD blocks wisely, use numbering systems, annotate the drawings, use a bit of color, and where necessary bring in some photos. Shop around on Google to get photos that will emphasize part of your project. And if you do that and keep adding on and keep learning, then I think you're going to have a pretty successful client list, or a pretty successful business, because clients will come back over and over. That's about it for this one. Hope you have great success with all your drawings, all your clients. Thank you for watching, and see you on the next video.